Do you guys ever get the same thought I do? Where I was thinking yesterday, I was thinking, damn, I've made a lot of mistakes in crypto, and my time in crypto has not been very long. I'd say it's been a couple of years, and I've made some choices. Oh, I've made some choices. We've all made some choices. Do you ever get the feeling where you want to just go back in time and just think to yourself, what I would have told myself back then? The things I would have done, I would have not have done today. Those sorts of things. So I've got a mini list here of the biggest mistakes I've made coming into crypto, and this is just footage of my gameplay of Starfield. I've got a gaming channel as well. I'll leave a link in the description for that. But I didn't know what else to put. I'm not going to put a blank screen on. That's boring. But I would say these aren't really in any particular order. So my first, the first thing I would mention is probably being naive. I think being naive in this space is the biggest mistake you can make, and that falls under trust as well. Because I feel that a lot of the time we put way too much trust in people, in individuals. We think we are like-minded people. We think to ourselves they want the same result we do. They've got the same ambition. They've got the same goals. They want to make money, and then that you fall into a trap when you have that sort of mindset and being naive and being gullible and trusting too much. And I tell you now, I know probably about, just a rough estimate. Let's just say 100 people, right, in this space. I know 100 people. That's not the exact number in terms of, I could talk to someone and they would know who I am, right? I would, if they one of those 100 people came up to me, or if all of those 100 people came up to me and they said to me, okay, here's a project I want to do. Out of those 100 people, I would trust probably about 4 or 5 people. That's how bad this space is. Out of the 100 people I know, I would trust about 4%, and that's even too much. That's too much. There's certain people I would put my trust in this space. Very, very few people I would, and that's based on being naive and putting trust too early on. All right. Next point is this. These kind of overlap in a sense. So, well, they're not really. So the second one is greed, being too greedy. So going for these protocols and these projects that offer 1% to 4% a day. I used to do those projects. I used to promote a few of them. I put way too much, again, trust in these projects, and that falls under, again, like I said, they kind of overlap, but greed. Because when you see these numbers and then you get sold on, this is DeFi, this is not traditional banking, this is a new concept. They're holding you back in the real world with traditional banking. Yes, that's still true, but to the extreme lengths where they're offering 3% a day or 2% a day, those sorts of things. That's where the greed comes in. That's where your mind goes, ooh, you rub your hands together, and in the end, you sort of you get really greedy, and you get really used to that sort of greed because all these different protocols come. So greed is another one. And my next point comes under greed as well, which is not changing my mentality. And when you're not changing your mentality, that sort of greed comes into it again, because you failed on one, and then you want to recover those losses, and you go into other ones, and then you get burned even more. So you fail on that one as well, and that's when you really don't learn from your mistakes, and then it really does take time for you to understand and to come out of that mentality and to really sort of learn from it. So that's the ultimate thing. Learning from those sorts of mistakes really does change your mindset, and it really does open your eyes, because after that you go into a sort of mindset of you've fallen at you've come away from that mentality of being that sheep and that person who follows the crowd, use my referral link, that sort of thing, where you're jumping into projects upon projects just to recover losses. You're not really doing it sort of to make money, you're sort of doing it to get money back. And that's the sad reality of the dark side of DeFi, these sorts of projects that people promote, and the old projects we know. you wake up and you realize there's more to it than these projects. And another mistake as well is being just lazy. And what I mean by lazy is just you're handing your money over to these people. And again, these overlap. Trust falls into it as well, right? You're handing your money over to these people, and then you're thinking the exchange of money is like, okay, you do it for me. You earn me the 2% a day. You just go away and you earn me that 2% a day, and then I'll just click that withdraw button once my 30 days are up. So it's too good to be true. Those sorts of things. It's too easy, and therefore it's too lazy of us, right, as investors. I know that's what they're selling. That's their project. That's their product. But being lazy and in that sort of responsibility to hand over that money, I think that's just one of the mistakes we make, and that's the reality. That's the sadness of it. That's why when you learn a new skill, like I did during this year, which was actually learning how to trade. I'm not an expert by any means. Don't come to me for help. But when you make these mistakes, like we've gone over these mistakes on this video, you sort of understand what needs to be done in a way, and that revolves around you not relying on people, not relying on individuals and projects, and basically DIY, do it yourself, and learn a new skill. And when you learn that skill, you're able to make money from it, and that skill being trading. I mean, because once you understand the fundamentals of it, you can go in and practice it, use a smaller amount of funds to get used to it, just to get familiar with it, to just build up that skill essentially, and then go away and do it yourself, woken up from this nightmare of mistakes. Because each one of these mistakes I've mentioned, they all compound. That's a good word to use for what I'm saying, right? We're used to that compounding the money back in. These mistakes have compounding effects because they really overlap, and then they really multiply, and they are very dangerous just to experience. A lot of people, I won't go over it, but it's life-changing for the worst, and it's sad. It's really, really sad that we've had to go through this sort of thing. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Those are the sort of mistakes I've made, and I think a lot of you can probably relate or feel the same. So let me know if you feel the same, if you feel any different, what I've missed, and what mistakes you've made that I possibly have made but haven't thought of on this video. But those are the sort of things I've thought of that I just jotted down on a list. Just wanted to talk about, because I think it's necessary to talk about these mistakes, and so we don't make them again. It's just good to recognize them so they're notably and visually heard, if that makes sense. Just so it's in your eardrum and it's in your brain. If you found it useful, please like the video, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Oh, by the way, this is Starfield, by the way, this game, just in case you were wondering. Great game. All right, see you on the next one.